taking this tour with me. Cheers, everyone. I'm going to tell you the history of Sweetwater. Sweetwater is founded by two college students, Freddie Bench and Kenneth Minarni. And what do you do in college?
Learn stuff.
Drink beer.
Chase girls.
Well, you study and drink beer, right?
Oh, no, I didn't do
Well, they decided that they would volunteer at local microbreweries around Boulder, Colorado. And they decided that they liked making beer so much, they thought they would do it on their own. Believe it or not, you do have to have a degree to make beer. It's called fermentation of science. They went out to UC Davis in California, got their degree. After they got their degree, they needed to find a great location to make their beer. They knew what kind of beer they wanted to make. They knew they wanted to make an aggressive pale ale. They just didn't know the right location. Were you guys here in 1996 in Atlanta? Do you guys know what's happening in 96 in Atlanta? All right, well, the Olympics are here. We had the 96 Olympics here. Freddie came over here to the Olympics, saw that Atlanta was suffering from microbreweries altogether, so he called up Kevin, said, Kevin, pack up your bags, come down here, and we'll start our thing here. And from there, they got $900,000 in loans from the government and from friends and family. They built their facility off of Fulton Industrial, which kind of near the Six Flags location. It was about a quarter of the size. The first beer they made was February 17th, 1997. It was an English bitter. An ESB is a more technical term for it. The second beer that they made was the Blue. And what they did was they packed up their van with their kegs and their beer, and they went to local festivals and local universities, went up to college kids and asked them for a free beer. And who doesn't want a free beer? Come on, everybody wants a free beer. Cheers, yeah? That's how they got their name across. The name Sweetwater was actually started by the Sweetwater Creek or river that was located near the first facility. They were at that facility for 7 years. They've been at this facility for 3 years, coming on 4. It'll be 4 years this year. Do you have any questions?
And so where did the term 420 come from?
The term 420 is actually Kevin's mother's birthday. It's also the day we brewed 420. You can always get your own idea about 420. It's a great question. Of course, our number 2 selling beer is Blue. It's got the aroma of blueberry. Call it our breakfast beer. The reason why I call it our breakfast beer is because it's got the blueberry pancakes and a beer. If you ever have a hangover and you need something to tide you over, I always like to drink a Blue just to get me through the day. Because everybody knows it's hard to get over a hangover. We also have the IPA. I don't know if you guys know this, but IPA got its name. India Pale Ale is the real technical term. India Pale Ale got its name from when England was trying to colonize India. They were really bad on the long sail to India. So they learned that dry hopping, or adding hops to the fermentation process, acted as a pasteurizer, so their beer wouldn't go bad. So that's where the dry hops term comes from, and that's how we get the hoppy aroma of the IPA. We also have the Georgia Brown. It was also known as our Sweet Georgia Brown. It was an old 45. We named our beer after it. It's an English net ale. We dropped the sweet after people got kind of confused with the name Sweet Georgia Brown. They thought it was going to be something sweet like a Blue. So we dropped the name, and now it's our Georgia Brown. It's one of my favorites. It's a great winter ale. We also have the Hummer. That's another year-round. It was called the Summer Hummer. It's kind of like our road trip. It was a catch-and-release beer. It's a Hefeweizen. It's a wheat ale. It's made with orange peel and coriander. It's a great beer. It's a great beer to sit by the pool with and just hang out with your friends. We also have the Catch and Release series. We have 4 of those. Right now we have the Happy Ending. Our Happy Ending is our Imperial Stout. It's very rich. It's got a very rich aroma and flavor. It's got a lot of chocolate, a lot of chocolatey textures to it. We also have the Festive, which comes out around Christmas time. The the festive has nutmeg and cinnamon to it, so it's got that very rich, chocolatey goodness. I just love sitting by the fire and drinking a festive. We also had 2 new catch releases in 2007. We had the Road Trip, was our Pilsner Ale. It's a little bit more hoppier than the actual Pilsner. It's got a little bit more bite to it because it has such hops flavor to it. We also have an Oktoberfest beer. It's called our Donkey Punch. It's our barley wine. It was brewed for the first time this year. It's excellent. It's probably the best barley wine I've ever had in my whole entire life, and I'm not biased at all. Maybe a little bit.
Of course not.
But the Donkey Punch is a great additive to our collection of catch and release. Moving on. Do I have any questions?
Catch and release?
A catch and release is kind of, it's a seasonal beer. You know how we have 4 seasons, summer, winter, fall, spring. That's what our beer is about. We like to move with the seasons. We like to have our own aroma and flavor for each season of the year. I haven't really been able to bring anybody back here just because we've grown so much. I just want to really give you the full perspective of what really happens back here. Is that okay? Alright. If you look out here, these are our silos. This is where our specialty grain and our 2-row grain are held. If you ever come to Sweetwater Brewery, you can definitely smell the grain. To me, it smells something sweet, but to other people it might smell. It smells different, but I love the smell. I've gotten used to it. These are our silos. See, these 3 big ones hold our 2-row. Every beer Sweetwater uses 2-row. The last 2 are our specialty grain. This guy holds our hot water. That's our hot water heater. And you can see the skunk over here. Alabama farmers, we donate that to the Alabama farmers who have cattle. They use it for compost and feed. Coming inside, the grain will meet the mill room. In the mill room, it separates. The grain looks like a ear stalk, corn stalk. It'll separate that. From there, we have a 4-vessel brew house. The first vessel is our mash mixer. What the mash mixer does, the grain meets hot water. It's boiling temperature. It'll sit there for about 1 to 2 hours. That's where we get our sugar water or our wort. From there, it'll go into the lauter. And what the lauter does, it segregates the sugar water, the sugar water from the grain. If you want to come this way. Louder. That's where everything gets separated. From there it goes into the kettle. What the kettle does is that's where we add the hops. That's what gives us the aroma and the flavor of our beer. The taste. We can add hops up to 4 times depending what kind of beer it is. It'll sit in there. It'll cook for about 2 hours. Use cook very lightly. From there, it'll go into the whirlpool. What the whirlpool does, kind of acts like it sounds, acts as a centrifuge. It separates the wort from the hops. It's very loud, very noisy. From there, it'll go into these big guys. These are our fermenters. And this is my favorite part of the tour, just because the fermenter gives us alcohol. This is where the yeast is added. It'll ferment for about a week. We use the yeast for 10 generations. That's exactly where the outside came from. The compost that you saw out there, that's what the yeast is used from.
The living yeast?
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, that'll ferment for a week, and we use them for 10 generations. After the 10th generation, that's when we donate them to the Alabama farmers. As you can see, these guys are a lot bigger than our brew house, so it takes a few brews to actually fill these guys up. It could take up to 3 or 4 times before we fill up a 200 barrel vessel.
Oh, really? Yeah. Buckets. This is the CO2 coming off the fermenters. As you can see, it's very active right now. That just means that the beer just came into the fermenter. Once it becomes a lot more mellow and the foam starts coming out, that's when they know it's pretty much done. Right now, this is a very fresh batch of beer. If you look at this guy, after it ferments for about a week, this is our filter. Only a few select beers are filtered. 420, brown, blue, road trip are filtered. Things like IPA, Hummer, road trip, Happy Ending are not filtered. The reason for that is because it would change the flavor and the aroma of the beer. 420, blue, brown are not affected by it. So they get filtered. From the filter, if CO2 needs to be added, we'll add that as well. They will be added into these bright tanks over here. As you can see, the bright tanks have a smooth bottom. It's kind of like a big keg. It's pretty much what the bright tank is for. It just holds the beer like a keg until it's ready to be kegged or bottled. This is our kegging process. If you see the water that's streaming down, that's a sanitizer. We're sanitizing the inside of the outside of the keg. So if your friend does a keg stand, decides to throw up on the keg, it does get washed off. We do a keg a minute. And you can watch the process going on right now. What happens, we sanitize the inside and the outside of it, which is happening right now. And then we'll fill the keg, and then the keg will move on. And that's what this guy is doing right here. He's moving it onto pallets to be shipped to your house. Well, not that one. Bottling process happens. As you can see, it'll start up on this conveyor belt and go all the way down. These guys will all straighten out and sort out the good bottles from the bad. From there, it goes into this guy. This is where the beer is added. That's where CO2 pressure is added, so the consistency of the beer is always there. It's always 12 ounces. It'll move on to there into this conveyor belt. From the conveyor belt, it'll move into the labeler. This is where the label is added. Always check your labels for expiration dates. We'll always have a little expiration date printed on the side. From there, I'll move on to this conveyor belt. This is where it separates from 12 packs to 6 packs. If you're ever interested in volunteering at Sweetwater's, we always take volunteers. Call us up and see when we are taking volunteers. We usually work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So just give us a call if you're ever interested. We do have a few low fills, so if you ever feel the need, just like Freddie and Kevin started out, we'll send you home with a couple cases of low fills. That's how I got started. Unfortunately, with the bottling system, not every bottle gets filled to the 12-ounce percentile. So this is probably about 10 ounces. 12 ounces should be about up to here. If you ever want to volunteer, these are very beautiful and nice to go home with you. You'll get a couple of cases of these guys to go home. They're just as great. They want to be loved, but they're just low, so we can't sell them. The boxes will move down to here, off the conveyor belt. If you're ever volunteering, this is probably where you stand. There'll be a few pallets, and you will stack the pallets up, saran wrap them, and ship them into where we're going next. In this nice cooler. This is my favorite part of the tour when it's summertime and it's 100 degrees outside. You see the mini pallets of beer, kegs. From here it'll go on to 5 states. We distribute in 5 states. We distribute North Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama, the Panhandle of Florida, and of course Georgia. These are our hops that we add into your beer. As you can see, they're all pallets, they're stacked up. Every one of these are very delicate and have their own definition of what a beer could be. I'm not too sure what exactly every hops is, just because it's kind of hard to tell, and I'm not a brewmaster. I just give the tour. So to me, this is like a piece of art, really. It adds to the flavor and the aroma of what a beer could be. And I don't know, I like the smell. I've gotten really used to the smell. People have, asked me, what's that smell? And I'm like, what smell? I can't even smell anything anymore. It's the smell of making beer. It's a very great smell. But like I said, we do not pasteurize our beer. Our beer has a shelf life of 3 months, so after 3 months, I'm not saying it's going to go bad or anything, but you don't want a friend to try a new Sweetwater that's 8 months old. It's going to taste a little funky. Make sure that it's in the shelf life for 3 months. If you ever have If you ever purchase a beer that's older than 3 months, please let us know. We always like to get the word across that we always have a fresh beer. We're always about quality and not quantity. And as you can see, we are all about family. We're a big family here. We have a good time. We're a bunch of goofballs. We all work very well together. We're very kin, and we all know each other's name. And every time we pass each other, we always wave and say hi. And I couldn't think of a better place to work or, drink beer at. It's just a very nice home.
This is definitely going on YouTube. I don't want to be anywhere around. I don't have any more passing. Only Brad and Dan over here.
What is the orifice called that you fill those casks?
The orifice?
Yeah. How do you get How do you get beer into it?
Through the bunghole? Is that what it is?
There you go.
Yeah,
I wanted to hear bunghole.
Technically, that's what it is.
That's exactly right.
It's called a bunghole.
Exactly right.
No shit.
As you can see, our logo is a trout. We are very big trout fishers. That's why the trout is our logo for Sweetwater. Plus, he's a little cute guy, isn't he? He's cute up there.
I just want to say thank you so much for taking this tour with me. It's been a pleasure. I hope you enjoy Sweetwater as much as I do. My name is Kim. Thank you again. Cheers.